All right, y'all, come on in. Today we're going to be looking at this Boudoir Facebook ad. And we're going to be looking at the lens, that I look at and fix all the other Boudoir Facebook ads. And we can see I've already taken some other Peeps ads, tested them, fixed the mistakes, improved them, retested them, and on average, I've been able to get like 2 to 4x more women to engage with the ad, consume the ad copy, consume the offer, which will probably result in more sales, same ad spend by just making these fixes. And the real key thing key metric that a lot of people miss is unique CTRL. This is how many women out of 100 have basically clicked see more to read the rest of the ad copy. And the key dividing line is 6%. So below 6%, ads are probably going to worse and worse prospects over time because of bad initial ad results and metrics. Leading to same ad spend, worse ad results, aka ads burning out. But the higher we can get that above 6%, the higher chance we have an ad that gets better and better results over time because it goes to better and better people over time as a result of its good initial data off rip. So that 6% line is really where we want to stay above. So these same 10 mistakes I went through in these ads, fixed a bunch of them. We're going to look at this ad today. So when boudoir photographers have been running, boudoir Facebook ads for a long time, it is super common for the ads to basically perform worse and worse over time. Same ad, some worse results kind of over time. We see a decay of results and then refresh creative. This is not normal. We think it's normal because we see it happening to basically everyone, but it's a symptom of a deeper root cause problem, which is these 10 mistakes I'm going to talk about today. And the reason this occurs is as our ad gets bad initial results from kind of first tranche of women the ad goes to, that feeds into the meta ad algorithm saying, hey, this ad's, has a low user experience score, low conversion rate. So tranche 2 women, the next set of women we send it to, are actually going to be lower quality prospects off rip with an expected lower conversion rate, and they convert lower, so same ad spend, lower, less sales for this tranche 2, which feeds into the meta ad algorithm again, and we go to even lower quality meta profiles for tranche 3. So this is the downward spiral of despair. This is why ads, same ad spend, worse results over time. Ads dry out and die, shrivel up and die. We want to fix these mistakes so we get good results tranche 1, feeds back into the meta ad algorithm. Then we go to better women for tranche 2. When we get even better results, same ad spend, better results. Feeds back into the meta ad algorithm, goes to even better meta profiles in tranche 3. Again, same ad spend, even more results. This is the upward spiral of awesomeness. This is where we want to get to. So ads can either be in the downward spiral of despair or the upward spiral of awesomeness. But we got to fix these mistakes to get it in the upward spiral of awesomeness. So when a lot of boudoir photographers' ads are going through the downward spiral of despair, which, we used to believe was normal, they're getting desperate. Like, oh man, this thing was working, it's not working anymore. Got to refresh my creative again. They don't know how to fix it because they keep doing ads that just keep kind of dying out, drying up. They don't know where to start to fix it, so they're feeling desperate. Or if they have an agency, like, man, I'm paying these guys a ton of money every month, and dude, literally like I'm saying, paying them money every month, pay my ad spend same every month, but I get worse and worse results over time. So why should I even be using this agency? So, a lot of stress, a lot of frustration with that. And we're going to go over fixing these 10 mistakes today to, give us a better chance of better ads as they sustain and scale the business. All right. So first mistake, same as always. Does it look like an ad? And for that, I go to look, is there text on the screen? Yes. Yep. So this one definitely looks like an ad. And What that means, women that could have benefited are going to scroll by. We're going to have a lot of women scrolling by. We want to make the ad look as organic as possible, so more women consume it, consume the ad copy. So because of this, we're going to have less qualified women coming through, less qualified leads, less qualified sales calls, less sales, less conversions from the tranche one women. That data feeds back into the meta ad algorithm, and we go to worse converting meta profiles off rip for tranche two women. And we get worse results after that. And then again, downward spiral of despair. So that's mistake one. Mistakes 2 through 4 can happen up here in the see more headline. That's the first 2 3/4 line on mobile, see more headline. And it is where 80% of ad spend is won or lost. So this is actually the battleground where we got to test a ton of things. And we got 4 things we want to have in here. First one is a who. Who are we speaking to? What is a self-label that they have where when they scroll by and read it, up here, like, oh my God, that's me. So do we have a self-label here? No. So if it's shown off Boudoir and then something bold. Okay, so we're missing the who. So when we scrolling by, don't feel like we're talking to them, and they're just going by. So we're missing out again on a ton of prospects. I'm guessing this ad has a that unique CTR all column I talked about, probably between 1 to 3%, and I can get between 6 to 9%, sometimes above it with a lot of tests. So potential to like 2 to 4x this ad, fixing these mistakes. And yeah, so less qualified women, less sales calls, less sales, worse, lower conversions, worse data going back into the meta ad algorithm. Tranche two women are going to be lower quality meta profiles, which means same ad spend, worse results. Downward spiral of despair. Ad burns out, refresh creative. Business slowly declines. All right, the second thing we want to have in the See More headline is a negative. What is a negative experience women are going through in our city that they're saying to themselves they want to get away from and stop dealing with? And we always, always, always lead with the negative. Here's why. It's because the probability humans take an action to go from negative experience, aka pain, and take an action to get back to just normal, aka no pain, aka homeostasis, is literally like 100x higher probability than a human taking an action to go from normal / no pain to some like positive or some gain, some pleasure. Literally 100x difference. Get me out of this pain. I'm going to take an action compared to, get this positive gain pleasure, which most people prefer to stay, in the neutral, no pain zone and not really move at all, stay in homeostasis. And we know this with ourselves. Like think of if we went, we're going to the dentist and we finished up our 6-month teeth cleaning / checkup, and we actually are paying at the front desk. So we're paying, and then the front desk ladies are like, hey, are you free 33 Thursdays from now at 8:15 a.m.? And I'm like, dude, I literally ain't got no clue, but contact me closer to then when I actually know my schedule and I can put something on. So they do put us on the the auto text machine, the auto texter. So it's texting us in month 3, month 4, month 5. We don't answer, we ignore it. We're working on our business. When 6 rolls around, we got nothing on the calendar. We do not go to the dentist. And why is this? Well, the potential positive of slightly cleaner teeth and knowing we have no cavities, it's just not a strong enough positive for us to kind of break our habits, break our calendar, break our schedule. So we're having good momentum in our business. We're in the flow state. We like our schedule as it is. We don't want to have to like branch off our brain juice to plan some dentist and like kind of lose our concentration for the day and kind of throw our whole schedule into whack. So just not enough positive for us to take an action from our normal / no pain / homeostasis state. And then we continue on. Month 8, we get texted ignored. Month 10, texted ignored. And month 12, texted ignored. So now that's 2 in a row, 2 6-month cleanings we've missed. And again, same story. It's just not enough positive for us to take an action. So we got slightly cleaner teeth, some small amount of peace of mind knowing we don't have any cavities. It's just not enough for us to break our habits, break our schedule, pencil in a dentist. Now month 13 rolls around, end of month 13, we're eating breakfast one day, and dude, a ton of pain on the right side of our mouth. Bottom, right side back, one of our teeth, one of those molars back there. And an absolute ton of pain, every single bite. And after, through the rest of the morning to lunch, our jaw, kind of pain around the jaw as well. Like, oh man, this is awful. So we're eating lunch, we actually eat it on the left side of our mouth. But, muscle memory, some still goes over to right, and we're chewing on the right again, and yeah, pain again. It's like, all right, this is terrible. I probably won't even be able to eat dinner because I only had half the lunch. And it's kind of hurt all afternoon. Like, dude, this is killing me. I gotta get this thing solved. And so we call up our dentist that same afternoon, and we're like, what? What do you mean you can't get me in at 7:30 a.m. tomorrow morning? This thing's killing me. And they're telling us like, hey, we're booked 2.5 weeks out. We literally can't. We cannot get you in. We can put you on the cancellation list. We'll call you if someone canceled, but we'll probably 2.5 weeks before we can get you in. And we're like, oh man, dude, this is killing. Like, I cannot deal with this for 2.5 weeks. I gotta get this fixed literally tomorrow morning. So we hang up, and we literally call every other dentist in the city. Like, can you get me in tomorrow in the morning? Can you get me in tomorrow in the morning? Can you get me in tomorrow in the morning? And we finally find someone that can get us in the morning. And we go in. Oh man, we had a huge cavity. They clean it out. They put the resin in, put the little UV light pen there to harden it up, whatever that stuff is. And we leave our dentist. Cool, no more pain. All right. We go eat some food. Nice, no pain. All right, back to normal. Awesome, this is great. Exactly what I wanted. Back to normal, back to no pain state. Now, what's the difference between those two scenarios? For literally like 13 months, 2 checkups, 13 months, 400 days, it was the potential gain, the potential positive was not enough to literally not enough to get us to take an action and pencil the dentist in. But dude, literally one day with pain, and we're penciling in a dentist. We're calling up every dentist in the city. Can you get me in tomorrow in the morning? I'll pay whatever. Just stop this pain. Get me out of this pain. So one day with pain to actually take an action versus 400 days potential positive, and we never took any action. So in this case, it's 400x difference, higher probability of taking action with pain compared to move to actually get some positive or some gain. So this is why we lead with the negative in the See More headline. All right, do we have a negative here that women in our city are saying they want to get away from? No. All right, so we're missing negative. So we're not being as specific. More women are scrolling by. They're not feeling like we're speaking directly to them. Again, bad initial results with our ad metrics and our conversions. Ads go to worse and worse prospects over time. Tranche 2, 3, 4, which means same ad spend, worse results. And downward spiral of despair. Ad burns out, refresh creative. Kind of the same story over and over again. Next thing, we want to have a positive in the See More headline. So what's something positive that women will get from our solution and that they're saying in their brain that they want? So do we have a positive here? No, we're missing that. So we're missing the negative positive tension where they're on one side of the river with some negative experience and pain, and they want to get to the other side of the river. So they don't want this pain, but they also do want this positive. Two different things. Like, oh yeah, I want both those. So we're missing that negative positive tension. So we're not being as specific. Women don't feel we're speaking specifically to them. So they scroll on by, and basically lower, less qualified leads, less qualified booked calls, less qualified sales calls, less sales, less conversions. That data feeds back into the meta ad algorithm, going to worse women in tranches 2, 3, 4, 5, which means same ad spend, even worse and worse and worse results over time. And yeah, kind of just crashing out, dying, ad decay, and refresh creative. All right, the fourth and final thing we want to have in the See More headline is a hesitation / roadblock. So what is stopping someone from crossing over the bridge, from hopping on the boat, either our boat or someone else's boat? They're saying in their head, I don't want this pain, I do want this positive, but I don't want to do this thing. Or maybe they incorrectly believe they need to do or be something, aka, no whatever posing experience, but they actually don't. So the incorrect assumption they have about our solution that is stopping them from moving forward. So, do we have that here? No, so we do not have that. So we are missing that. And yeah, so we're missing the triangle of tension. That's a real specialized thing that basically nobody has. The triangle of mental tension is the negative, the positive, the hesitation / roadblock. And when we have this, we're going to be the most specific in our city with our ads, unless somebody else is already working with me. And that allows us to call in the right women, higher qualified leads, add, sustain, and scale, but we're missing that here. So we're actually going to be calling in lower qualified leads, less sales, less conversions, less worse data going back into the meta ad algorithm, and ads go to worse and worse people over time. Ad burns out, refresh creative because of same ad spend, worse results over time. All right, so those are the first 5 mistakes that can happen. Now let's look at where the potential next 5 mistakes can happen. That is, well, the next 3 can be in the body copy. So they click ... see more, and they open up all this. So we actually regard the see more headline as, the see more headline as a like a hook 1, and then they click ... see more, which is always here. You can see it in your Meta Ads Manager ad preview, ... see more. Click that, open the rest of the ad copy. But then, dude, they get walloped. They were just scrolling and we caught them with 1 or 2 sentences, but now they're walloped with a wall of text. So we actually need a hook 2 to get them to keep reading. Like, we gotta give them a reason to keep reading because, man, we just whacked them with this wall of text. And they're thinking, like, oh my gosh, so much text. So we always want to use an authority hook for hook 2. Why should women listen to us? Why should they listen to us? And let's see. All right, let's see what we got here. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. All right, so we're missing the authority hook. This hook 2, so we're going to be less qualified, less chance that women actually keep reading the full ad copy, become pre-qualified. So we're going to have less qualified leads, less qualified bookings, more tire kickers, more price hunters, more ghosting, more non-responders, less show-ups, less bookings, less sales, less conversions, less revenue, all feeding back into the meta ad algorithm. And for the future tranches, our ads go to worse and worse prospects over time, which equals same ad spend, worse results over time, aka ads dying out, burning out, drying up, aka refresh creative. All right, next mistake that can happen in the body copy is we want to have a story / narrative. So basically we want to basically write like a movie script of describing the women's current situation that we're speaking to. And this is our punch 2, because look at this. Punch 1 up here, see more headline, is basically describing the exact conversation women are having in their brains, punch 1. And the story / narrative down here is the exact situations going on in their life, like we're watching them, following them around with a camera. This is punch 2. We got to get this punch 1-2 correct, or this 1-2 punch correct. It's because when we do this correctly, we become a market of one. We literally become the only option for this specific woman. And why is that? That's because nobody else in our city has spoken to her as specifically with what's going on in her brain and what's going on in her life as we have. Unless someone else in our city is already working with me beforehand. But that'll be the only scenario. So I've reviewed, I think over officially reviewed, but looked through over 100 Boudoir Facebook ads. Man, again, we'll hear the average mistakes I'm seeing out of 10. So nobody will come close to what we can do. So we're missing the story / narrative, so we're going to feel less like our solution specifically for them. Coming in less qualified, less bookings, less sales, more price hunters, more objections, less conversions, less sales, lower ROAS, feeding back into the meta ad algorithm. Ad goes to worse and worse prospects over time, which means same ad spend, worse results, and worse results over time. Ads dying out, ads drying up, refresh creative. All right, the third and final mistake that can happen in the body copy is we always want to have our full offer here, because the second purpose of our ad is to expose as many people to our offer as possible. The first purpose is to be very specific with correct context to speak to a specific person and then give them the offer. But yeah, the second purpose of the ad, expose as many people to the offer as possible. And the context is the vehicle, and the ad's the vehicle that allows us to do that. So let's see what we got here. 50% off. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. Nice. Fresh hair and makeup, posing dress for every body type. Complete wardrobe guidance. Cool. Access to 1,200. Wow. Okay, nice. Luxury studio sets. Awesome. Transfer. Yep. Free rain room or after dark. Oh, that's cool. I have not seen that. I don't think ever. Any of these ads. Okay. All right. So yeah, basically awesome. Yeah, you got a lot here. Basically, your whole ad copy is the offer part. So yeah, you got the full offer. So this is good. This is women coming through. The ones who want this exact thing, they know what it is. After Dark Edition is just $250. All right. So they're clicking over. They like what we got. So we're gonna have more of the right people clicking over, less of the wrong people clicking over. That's big, which we'll talk about in the next mistake number 9. So we're gonna have more qualified leads, more sales, more conversions, more book calls, more people saying yes. And that's going to feed back into the meta ad algorithm. It's going to go to better and better quality meta profiles over time, which means same ads and better results over time. And we've entered the upward spiral of awesomeness. Ads sustain and scales. Scale the business. All right, those are the first 8 mistakes. The final 2 happen below the creative. Mistake number 9 here. It is always, 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 always a mistake to have anything below the creative. Always. And here's why. There's 3 reasons why. So reason number 1 for mistake number 9 is 5% of the reason for mistake number 9. Ties in with mistake number 1, makes it look more like an ad. there are no organic posts in the feed that have text under the photo or a button under the photo. So it makes it look more like an ad. More women scroll by, less women get pre-qualified in consumer ad copy and consumer offer. So that's reason 1 for mistake number 9. Reason number 2 for mistake number 9, 15% the reason for mistake number 9 is, interesting psychology bit, which the see more headline up here, that's the only thing that's showing when they scroll by our ad. Yeah, they're scrolling. By the time they get here and they're looking at these words, their subconscious has registered like a quarter to a third of the words or phrases up here in the see more headline. Now, if there's anything here that is not congruent with the stuff up here, then guess what? Triggers the error detection network. And once the error detection network is triggered, it signals error, incongruent, confusion, keep scrolling. So the wrong words here trigger the error detection network. The right words here, if they were the same exact words, makes it look more like an ad. So it's always a mistake to have words here in the bottom left. That's the headline and the description, or I call it the below creative headline. Now, reason number 3 for mistake number 9, is because it's 80% of the reason for mistake number 9 is stuff down here. It enables women to click through to our ad, our next page, before being forced to click ... see more and become pre-qualified in our ad copy, and then click over through the ad copy at the end. Here's why this is such a big problem. When Meta is deciding who to send our ad to next, the next future tranches, pulling data from multiple different pools. One of the pools is converters. So those who have converted on the ad, Meta is going to see, hey, what data points of the millions that we got on their profile, what are the similarities between those data points on the profile? And let's go find the similarities on other Meta profiles that we got of all the women in the city. Okay, that makes sense. The problem is with pool 2. So pool 2 is Meta's doing the same thing with ad clickers, so people that have clicked over from the ad. And the problem with this is pool 2 is like 10x to 50x bigger. But if they're clicking over through this down here and they didn't click see more, they didn't come pre-qualified, we're just muddying the waters. We're dirtying our data pool 2 with unqualified people and unqualified data points on those Meta profiles. So we're biasing, we're telling the Meta ad algorithm when you go, we're weighting, putting a weighted, bias on the Meta ad algorithm. Go find people that have more of these similar data points of ad clickers who are unqualified, which is just going to give us terrible results. Same ad spend, worse results. So we got to remove this stuff at the bottom of the ad. No. It's just screwing over all our results. All right. Final mistake. Now, we do not know if this ad is making it, but final mistake is our objective. Leads objective is always a mistake. Leads objective is the most common objective I see boudoir photographers use. Here's why it's a mistake. When we decide our objective, Meta pulls a 6% slice of Meta profiles of audience from our city we're targeting. And it'll be literally like, the top 95th percentile, 95% probability, if we're using lead objective, just 95th percentile probability to fill out a lead form. And the problem with that is we're not optimizing for Meta profiles that fill out a lead form and then answer our phones, texts, or calls. We're not optimizing for Meta profiles that fill out a lead form and then book a call, show up to the call. And we're definitely not optimizing for Meta profiles that fill out a lead form and then buy. Now, yes, there'll be a small dusting of people that fill out the lead forms that will do those things, answer our calls, text, emails, book a call, show up to the call, and buy, like a very small dusting. But if we want buyers, so let's just optimize off rip for buyers. The meta profiles have the highest probability to buy, because the lead form objective, guess what? Most of those people, they're non-buyers. So cool, we're getting $2.50, $3 leads through the lead forms. Yeah, we're filling up our email list. Well, guess what? We're filling up our email list with non-buyers. They're never going to buy. Because something I've heard a lot is a buyer is a buyer is a buyer, which means a non-buyer is a non-buyer is a non-buyer. And so we don't want our list to be non-buyers, and also we're biasing the pixel towards non-buyers, which can make it harder to redirect in the future when we do want to make a change towards going back towards buyers, because it's already been over optimized towards non-buyers. And here's an example. Let's say a lead farms get 100 leads, dollar lead, 100 bucks to get one sale, whatever. $100 cost CAC, cost per acquisition, aka CPA, whatever, cost to acquire customer CAC. Or we get like 4 leads for $10 each, and we convert 2 of them. So what's that? That's $20 CAC. So we get less leads, higher conversion rate, less stress, less time, wondering why is no one answering, my metrics stink. I'll do it because we targeted non-buyers. I mean, come on, that's why nobody's buying. We targeted non-buyers. We literally said, Meta, lead objective, give me the non-buyers. Yes, cheap non-buyers. Yes, dollar leads, $1.50 leads. Expensive leads are basically almost always better, like 95% of the time. This is more specific, more qualified lead, higher conversion rate, feeds back into the meta ad algorithm. Ads go to higher quality prospects over time, which equals same ad spend, better results, ads sustain and scale. All right, so those are the top 10 mistakes. So now we're going to grade this ad out of 10 compared to the rest of the boudoir industry. So let's see. I just look like an ad. Yep. Okay, that's mistake 1. Who, negative, positive, hesitation / roadblock. All right, we missed all those. What the heck else? We got authority, story / narrative. You got the offer. Yeah, definitely got the offer. Below creative headline and button, and roadblock or objective. So that's 8.5 out of 10. And the average in the boudoir industry is 7.5 out of 10 mistakes. So yeah, this has right around average. And any boudoir Facebook ad that has more than 2 out of 10 of these mistakes, I consider a breaking down boudoir Facebook ad. So it's getting worse and worse results over time, aka it's breaking down. Worse and worse performance over time. Same ad spend, worse results over time. Now, if a car is breaking down and it's performing worse and worse over time, where do we take this car? That's right, we take it to a car mechanic. Similarly, if our boudoir Facebook ad is breaking down more and more over time, where do we take it to? That's right, a boudoir Facebook ad mechanic. So if you're having these mistakes in your boudoir Facebook ad, yes, I do have a boudoir Facebook ad mechanic offer today. Got 2 options. First one is a pay per root cause problem solve. And I squished those 10 mistakes down to 5 root cause problems, and we'll go over that now. Give a quick diagnosis and quote, and then talk about option 2. So, root cause problem 1, does it look like an ad? Yes. So that's root cause problem 1. Root cause problem 2, we need 4 out of 4 things in our see more headline. We got 0 out of 4. So root cause problem 2, see more headline. Root cause problem 3, ad copy. We need 3 out of 3 things. We got 1 out of 3. So ad copy is root cause problem number 3. Below creative headline and button, root cause problem number 4. And objective, half root cause problem because we don't know if the correct or incorrect objectives being used. So we got 4.5 out of 5 root cause problems, And option 1 is I charge $50 per each root cause problem I fix on one ad. So, yeah, that's basically like it chooses few or as many as you'd like. And yeah, you can take the fixes, move them to all your other ads if you want as well. Or if you want them all fixed to be 4.5 times 50, so 225 bucks. You know, and the result you'll be shooting for is, 2 to 4x the kind of women consuming the ad, coming through the ad copy, becoming pre-qualified, and then be more specific women as well. Option 2 is a much better value option. This one is I fix all the mistakes in all the ads that you want me to and create as many new ads as you want me to. 100 bucks a month. Flat fee, cancel anytime. 100 bucks a month. And yeah, we can collab as much or as little as you want. But yeah, I already know I can fix all this stuff and have a much higher probability of better results and much higher probability of ads that sustain and scale. Same ad spend, better results over time because our ads are working with the meta ad algorithm, feeding in better and better data, better and better results over time. As a sustain and scale the business. All right, so you got my phone number, you got my email, and also, whatever social platform we're on, you can DM me on here whenever you're ready to choose one of those options. And yeah, when you hit me up, I'll ask you what you got from me, and we'll go from there. All right, that's everything. Adios.